Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our afternoon webinar, Innovating with Industrial Augmented Reality. So glad that all of you could join us today. My name is Rob Romanowski. I am the Director of Sales Operations for 3HTI, and I'm joined today with Ryan Trump from PTC, who is an applications engineer. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you two slides and get done quickly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass everything over to Ryan, and he's going to take you through some augmented reality solutions, specifically looking at the capabilities of a product from PTC called Vuforia Studio. So I just want to let everybody know that you're going to be on mute throughout the webinar. If you want to ask any questions, please type them into the dashboard. We'll try to answer them as we go, but we will definitely answer them at the end. And we're hoping to have everything completed in about 45 minutes. So hopefully that is convenient for everybody. So first thing I want to do is I want to ask two questions of our audience. So the first question is, are you currently using augmented reality capabilities for your manufacturing process? And there is only one answer for this. Excellent. And the last question is, I guess your purpose in attending this webinar today, what are you looking to see? How do you think augmented reality can improve your productivity within your company overall? Is it with the assistance in the manual assembly and production of your products? Is it to help give your sales and service and support people real-time information and on-site instruction, as opposed to having a manual that they have to flip through in a book, that they can see something in 3D from their iPhone or from a whatchamacallit, an iPad? For sales and marketing, to help give customers visualization, potential customers visualization, how products will look and feel to them. Or lastly, overall improving the manufacturing process. Now, there is more than one answer that you can select here, because of the wide range of capabilities. You could select all of them if you like. So I'm going to give that another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. So real quick, that's my first slide, which is probably a good thing. So my last and final slide is kind of like a little bit about who 3HTI is. And we're basically a systems integrator for all products and solutions, for software, for 3D printing, to assist with design, manufacturing, and everything in between, including end of life cycle, including simulation solutions, whether it's downstream simulation by an analyst or simulation being done by designers with very simple to use tools to help them design products better, as well as the implementation of Internet of Things, augmented reality solutions to help with your digital transformation strategies, or also your strategies for Industry 4.0, which is the current fourth industrial revolution. So your company may or may not have a digital transformation strategy, but the reason we're looking at augmented reality today is because this supports converting your physical files and product information into a digital format so that you can share it with people inside and outside of the enterprise. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to look closer today at how this is done through a product from PTC called Vuforia Studio. So we at 3HTI are a platinum level reseller and have been since 2002 with PTC. We're the largest reseller on the East Coast, and we cover 39 states in the United States of America, which is pretty awesome. And we're positioned and we're helping our customers develop and implement strategies that are unique to what their goals are, what goals they want to accomplish as far as overall with productivity and profit. Or if they have a specific digital transformation strategy, we are helping them implement and execute on those strategies. So with that, I am going to pass control over to Ryan. Bama-lama.
All right.
Ryan, you have the con.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out there we go. I have 3 monitors. Trying to figure out which one is actually going to be shown. So now that I got that handled, first thing I want to do is actually just go over a quick augmented reality experience with everyone, just to kind of baseline the product. Now, we're going to be using the Vuforia View application, and you can and should go download it from the App Store if you have any interest in the software at all. It is 100% free, and there are some augmented reality experiences already cooked into it, so that when you download the app, you can start playing around with these as soon as you want. So we're going to be going over a specific experience today. And there's a few different ways that you can publish an experience. So there's the traditional thing mark, which is basically a QR code that you stick to an object, and that'll act as sort of a tracking point. There's also spatial target, which we're going to go over today, which will allow you to place the augmented reality experience on any horizontal surface. And finally, there is object recognition, which will create a sketch of your CAD data, and once it recognizes that geometry in real life, it will serve up the experience that is associated with it. So we're going to be looking at a servicing use case today, so I'll go ahead and tap on that, and we're going to get the app acquainted with the environment here so that I am able to place this mill down on the ground here. And with spatial, we have full control over how it looks and behaves. So through standard touch gestures, we can spin it around, we can increase the size, we can move it around in the view if we want to. In this one here, we actually have some IOT data being streamed into this as well, and you can actually see the gauge above it is indicating as red. So we can have this indicate as a state-based formatting so that if it exceeds a certain value, it will alert you here with this bright red color, letting you know that, hey, this is actually way above what it should be. And it's also giving us an indication to tap on the motor, which is in turn going to give us a troubleshooting guide where we can start looking through this and see what's going on with the motor. Maybe we can fix it. And if that doesn't help, there's actually a service instruction built in here as well, which will be guiding us through. So we're going to start off. It's going to ask us to disconnect the mill from power. And throughout this, we're going to have attention drawn to every single part so that whoever's using this is going to have a clear indication of where to go next. So these animations can get as complicated as you want. They don't have to be, super simple like this one is. This is, just a couple of steps here that we have. They could be as complex as you want. If you want to rip this thing all the way apart in a service instruction, by all means, you can do that. But this is just an example of what this actually could look like. So we'll go ahead and finish off the instruction here. And before we do that, there's actually a freeze function here. What that's going to do is allow your workers to actually freeze the exact view where they're at. And if they need to, go ahead and set their iPad down, do what they need to do on the mill, pick it back up, and once you hit escape, that will resume exactly where it was. And now we can see maintenance verification, so we can go ahead and type in our name here or initials, whatever the case may be, confirm it, and that'll now be sent off so that we have a record of this operation actually being complete. So that is a quick example of an augmented reality experience created with Vuforia Studio. Now they can get as complicated as you want. And we're going to get into a little bit of the back end here shortly. First, I just want to introduce a little bit more about Vuforia in general. So let's go ahead and do that. So Vuforia is a little bit of a broad term. So we have quite a few things that are inside of our Vuforia product line of suites. This is going to kind of help differentiate between those products. So Studio is on the left, and that is where we're working today. Now, this is designed for scalable AR authoring and publishing solutions for industrial enterprises. And this is going to enable your solution builders to use an authoring tool to quickly create those augmented reality experiences. You're not going to be creating individual apps. In the middle is Vuforia Chalk, and this is an easy-to-use mobile AR collaboration tool for real-time remote guidance. And all the way on the right is Vuforia Engine. And this is geared towards developers. So this is a very flexible AR development toolkit. And this is going to allow you to build custom apps from the ground up. So Vuforia Studio is a rapid AR authoring environment that's going to enable all of your industrial stakeholders to quickly create and share scalable augmented reality experiences. That's going to be allowing you for easy reuse of existing 3D geometry to be reused inside of Vuforia Studio. So that'll reduce the cost and complexity of content creation for these AR experiences. And we have acceleration of real-time contextualized IoT data from our ThingWorx platform, and this can help fuel the AR experiences for better and faster data-driven decisions. Now, like mentioned, these are accessed via Vuforia View, and this is a single enterprise-wide viewer applications. This is available on Windows, iOS, as well as Android devices, so there's no limits there, and we also support HoloLens. And one of a few of the big points here with Vuforia Studio, it can reduce your development costs, accelerate your content creation, leverage real-time insight, and streamline enterprise scalability. So this is a cross-platform technology that can activate the breadth of handheld and head-worn devices. So this will give you an idea of some of the devices that we actually support here. So our mobile 3D eyewear as well as 2D eyewear. And this is a brief illustration on how this actually works here. So we'll publish the content from Studio to an on-prem server or the cloud. From there, we can scan a ThingMark or pick an AR experience, whether that's ThingMark, model tracking, or spatial, and we'll be able to view it on our actual mobile device. Faster AR authoring, one of the biggest points of Vuforia Studio here. So this really helps you accelerate that experience design and publish with our drag and drop interface. It's also optimized for 3D CAD, so you can reuse those existing models you already have. Also can incorporate real-time sensor data and business system data. You can also take advantage of CSS. So you can create custom styles and IoT state-based formatting for gauges, labels, and all the other different widgets inside of it. There's also many flexible deployment options as well, whether that's secure and certified cloud hosting or on-premise hosting as well. Also, we have some offline capabilities as well, so you can allow for your experiences to be viewed offline. If you're sending someone maybe somewhere where there's not so great internet service, well, you can go ahead and download the experience and they can still take advantage of it. There's many ways to share. So universal links will give users the most integrated mobile experiences, and it's just be a link sent to their phone and they can tap on it. Advanced tracking, so that's with our model as well as our spatial targets. Universal viewers, our view app, so you can download that on all of your devices, and it's free to download as well, like mentioned. So I encourage all of you on the call to go ahead and download the app and start actually playing around with it a little bit so you can fully understand what it is to see augmented reality in front of you and sort of understand the power that comes with it. So the next thing we'll do is go ahead and show you what it looks like to create an augmented reality experience. And we already have our new project page up here. So it'll be either 2D, 3D, or a mobile device. So the 2D is for your RealWear and Vuzix devices, 3D eyewear is for the HoloLens, and mobile is for all of our tablets and phones. Since we already use an iPad for the first part of this actual demonstration, we're going to go ahead and just create one for the mobile. And we'll go ahead and give it a name and load into our software here. So our canvas, direct center, all of our widgets. First thing we're going to do though is go into the configuration. This is just switching themes, experiences. So if we're going to use a ThingMark, we need to define that here, but we're not. We're going to use spatial, so we'll turn that off. And our experience service here, this is going to help us validate that everything's up and running wherever our studio instance is deployed. So we'll go ahead and validate it. It'll give us a check mark. And we can also configure our access from here too. So we can do requires authentication. So if they don't have a username and password, they can't view the experience. Our case, we're going to leave it public so anyone can view our experience that we create. By ThingWorks, these will be available if you deploy or when you deploy your ThingWorks environment or your Vuforia Studio environment, sorry. What we're actually jumping into now is Creo Illustrate. And Creo Illustrate is our technical documentation tool. There's a lot more capabilities than what we're going to go over in today's call, but this is what we use to create our animations for our augmented reality experiences. It's a really powerful tool. We're going to create something really simple today, but the fact of the matter is that you could take every single part off of this if you wanted to. So we're just going to start off by adding some effects in here. So we'll go ahead and add a flash in. And we try to do this just to make sure that we're drawing attention to the individual parts on where we're going to be working during a particular step. So after that, we can go ahead and add in a new step. We'll go ahead and flash this through up here. Navigate to our build materials, and it's worth noting that Creo Illustrate will respect the entire BOM of your CAD file, so you don't have to worry about that. Everything is going to be listed out as if it were in your CAD tool. And we'll go ahead and bring in these external things that we loaded in. So we have a screwdriver as well as an arrow, just to indicate which way the screwdriver is going to be turning in this particular step. We'll go ahead and zoom in, and we'll go ahead and grab our another effect here, and we'll simply fade this piece out. And at any given time, we can also preview this just to ensure that everything's looking the way we want it to. So we can click through all the steps that we have created. Just to ensure, and then from there, if we want, we can go ahead and just publish this out. And this is going to publish as a .pvz file, which is a lightweight representation of the actual geometry. So whereas a normal CAD file may be 100 megabytes, the PVZ will be like 20. So a lot of compression while still maintaining the integrity of the file itself. So we'll grab our model container widget, drag that onto our canvas here, and the next thing we need to do is actually go ahead and load a resource. And we'll go ahead and grab that animation that we just completed. And we'll also run our CAD optimizer. And this will give us high, medium, and low resolution versions of the geometry so that we can have an even lighter file size when we're serving up these experiences. So adding a sequence is very easy. We just scroll down in our properties here, select on figure 2. So that's linked, and the only thing we would really need to do is go ahead and add a mechanism to play that animation. We're going to go ahead and just add a grid in here to our 2D section. And if you notice at the top, the canvas is being dictated by a size we've defined. So it says iPhone 6, 7, 8. So this will help you when you're designing your AR experiences. If you're designing for a specific device, this can really help you with positioning everything correctly. So we can put external images in here as well for images on the buttons. Or there's some out-of-the-box images in here as well that you can also take advantage of. With this, you also have the ability to change the background color as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll do the same thing for the background color pressed. And we'll use our built-in event here to just drag that over to the model. And then we'll select on rewind because this is going to be our rewind button. Now we'll go ahead and configure our play button here. Same process, we're going to add a new image in and go ahead and change the color of that button as well. Once again, we'll use one of the built-in events here to drag over to our model, and this will be using our play function on here. And we'll go ahead and bind that. We'll go ahead and add in a 3D gauge here as well. So we'll stream in some IoT data, and this is already streaming from our ThingWorks platform. So wherever the Vuforia Studio is, that's where the ThingWorks will be as well. So we'll be able to link up and easily display some sensor information coming off of our mill. So we'll quickly search for that in our Add External Data. We'll select on temperature. That'll be loaded in here. And all we have to do is drag that over to the text input of the gauge. We'll go ahead and preview this now just to see what it looks like. And we also have the ability to switch how we're previewing this. So if we don't want to look at an iPhone, we can very easily click our drop down and select on a screen resolution that we want to see, maybe an iPhone, an iPad, anything like that. So we can get an idea of how that looks, our animation, as well as where our IoT gauge is positioned as well. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and just take this to the next level a little bit. And I have some predefined JavaScript in here. And this is an ability inside of Studio if you want to use it. What we're going to do with this is actually just publish some work instructions to each individual step. So we'll go ahead and add in an application parameter here. We'll just call it instructions. And that's going to be the temporary home for those predefined text instructions we have until they get pushed over into a widget on our actual AR experience. So we'll grab a label, and that's going to house our text instructions. And we'll just bind the application parameter to the text input of the gauge. So that's ready to go. Last thing we're going to do is take advantage of the CSS class that we have in here already as well, and we're just going to add that into the grid here just to give it a little bit more pop. So we use a very simple CSS class. We only set the background color. And from here, we can preview this and take a look what it looks like. So we can see our text instructions updating at the top as we go through each individual step here. We can also see our gauges, and our buttons on here are maintaining where they were at. So that is, roughly what it looks like to actually go ahead and create an augmented reality experience. What I'd like to do now is just go ahead and wrap up with a slide or two. And then if there's any questions, we can go ahead and open up the floor for Q&A. But the Vuforia Studio is really going to unleash the power of AR with it being really fast, cost-effective authoring, and the publishing tool available today. So main things here, it's drag and drop, so you can rapidly create that content in an intuitive visual authoring environment. You can build better AR experiences faster. Once again, that's efficiently leveraging your existing 3D CAD geometry to create immersive augmented reality experiences and seamlessly incorporate step-by-step animations in here as well. It's also going to help deliver AR experiences across the enterprise. So a single universal viewer app with that native HoloLens support, as well as flexible or on-premise deployment options, flexible cloud or on-prem. And we can also seamlessly integrate with that real-time sensor and business system data to deliver meaningful, actionable information when and where it is needed. And that is pretty much the content that I had planned for today's webinar, short and sweet, with Studio. So if there's any questions, we can go ahead and open the floor for that.
Excellent. Thanks, Ryan. Great overview. And it absolutely does a lot. So one of the things that I wanted to mention while people are typing in questions is that PTC and Rockwell Automation, I don't know if everybody knows this, but a little over a year ago, Rockwell Automation had made an equity investment of $1 billion with a B dollars of investment into PTC, specifically with industrial IoT. And one of the big reasons that Rockwell Automation made this investment was because of the Euphoria product and the augmented reality products and IoT ThingWorks products that PTC has. They mesh very well with Rockwell's products like Factory Talk for analytics and other industrial automation platforms. So it's a really, really solid partnership, and it's able to help improve products like Vuforia and make them better for people who are using it on a daily basis, or using it to implement a Internet of Things strategy and start to use this on a daily basis. So Ryan, one of the questions is how easy is this to use, and who in my organization should take the lead on the evaluation and implementation of Vuforia Studio?
So extremely easy to use. We have classes available that actually teach you how to use it. It'll guide you through creating your first AR experience. So with that being said, realistically, anyone in the company could pick it up and start using it at any given time. As far as, overseeing implementation and all that, that's going to be more up to your discretion. If you want to put, one of your engineers in charge of that, something like that would work.
How long are the classes?
I think it's around 8 hours, but it has a lot of information in there. And there's multiple different classes as well for Studio.
Are they broken down into segments?
Yes, it's step by step all the way through. So there'll be different segments for different things.
All right. So basically, somebody could take study 1 hour for 8 days and be up to speed, or 2 hours a day and you're good in 4 days.
Yes.
Excellent. That is it for the questions at this time. That is it. So it looks like we're finishing up about 15 to 17 minutes a little earlier than expected, which is a good thing. Cool. I'm going to take control back. So real quick. Oh, here we go. Here's another question came in. It says, how does Vuforia manage CAD data? And I'm under the impression that this is not for Creo CAD, but for maybe SolidWorks.
I guess I'd have to ask, what do you mean by manage CAD? Because
I think what it's asking is, how does it? I think manage is probably the wrong word, but how does it work with CAD data that is not native or not PTC CAD data?
So that list is ever expanding on direct CADs that we support, but for the most part, we don't really care where the CAD data comes from.
It's pretty much CAD neutral.
Right.
Similar to Windchill, which is a PLM solution. Windchill will manage and give the ability to share CAD data from any source. I believe that Vuforia does the same thing, especially with the major CAD products. Correct. Like SolidWorks, CATIA, Siemens. Good question. So basically, want to thank everybody for being on today. And if you think of anything you want to further discuss about what you saw today, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. You can also reach me by just responding to the invitations that you've received concerning this webinar. They will come directly to me. We're more than happy to help you out, answer any questions, and help you understand better a digital, even if it's you don't know what a digital transformation strategy is, but you want to have a discussion for about 15 or 20 minutes and try to figure out how to get started. We're more than happy to help you with that too. So I want to thank everybody for being on today, and Ryan, thank you very much for your time, and happy Friday, everybody, and enjoy your weekend. Take care.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.